Welcome to the foundation. Let's get into this. I have a good job. Can I go private? It's a question I get all the time. We got a lot of people out here in the so-called conscious community or what have you, and there's a lot of different, I would say, definitions of what private means. And everybody has their own definition. And you got people out here that be shaming, absolutely trying to shame people who work a 9 to 5 or, maybe deeply invested in their career. Maybe you got 25 years in, there's not any type of job that you can transition to, a career you can transition to that will give you that much money that you're making, so your quarterly life couldn't drop. There's a lot of people out here who are working. We're later on in our life or early in our life, but still we're working. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of people ask, I have a job, or actually I have a good job, and I really don't plan on quitting or letting it go. So I really never, understood if I could go private having a job. So I'm gonna address that, today. And we're just gonna put it down like that. So I know a lot of listeners, a lot of people, a lot of listeners, followers of the foundation. And look, real quick. When I say follower of the foundation, I don't mean like a follower. I mean you follow the work. You follow the podcast or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean like. I said that it was in the email. My man was like, I ain't no follower. Like, all right, man, like, be sensitive, man. People be sensitive. I apologize, man, but anyway, my bad. Look, beyond the fact that most of us unknowingly and unwillingly entered into contract with, a federal corporation known as the United States when it comes to commercial transactions, and the unbeknownst to me, administration of an entity known as an individual with my name on it. You know what I mean? And the day that I was born, and then they call it a birthday. Most of us come from that. That's what it is. And a lot of us, will get, even me, I was invested over 15 years into a career, it was more than a career because I had businesses, I had companies, like 3 separate companies that were operating pretty much in unison. And, a lot of merchandise being sold, a lot of product being sold, a lot, 15 years, man. And completely walked away. In the snap of fingers. Walked away. And it was really detrimental to my mental health, now that I look back, because I feel like I was probably depressed for about 9 months because I didn't know how to process putting so much energy, spending so much energy on something and not getting the return. And I felt like I lost time, and I felt like I was stupid, and I should have known better. And I felt like I kind of neglected my family to do this, and then I had a lot of stuff going on, and it took me a while to get my mind right again and to get back on my feet, quote, so to speak. So I'm not saying that to say, oh, if you got a job, quit, you know what I'm saying, and after 9 months you be good. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I understand I feel like I understand the position of someone being in a job. You have a job, you work, or you have a career, maybe it's more than a job. You have a career. And then you come into this information. And you realize you've been lied to the whole time. And you realize, you've been administering this entity called the debtor. People call it the straw man and the cesscate, all this stuff, man. But it's an entity, individual entity. Because y'all know me. I go off with the returns. And it files an individual return. And trusts file a trust return. Corporations file a corporate return. You know what I mean? Foundations file a foundation return. So, I call it the individual. I'm just specific. I'm kind of stubborn like that. If that bothers you, my bad. But, working or putting all this energy into a field, maybe we work for another company or partners or whatever. And then waking up and be like, dang, this is a whole lie. All this is a lie. This is some inferior commercial jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? It's not even, it's not even, this stuff doesn't even apply to me, the living, breathing. And they've been lying to me. I don't put all this energy into paying taxes. And, I can understand what it's like. And, I got a master's or a bachelor's or whatever. And this is all I really know. I'm just saying I understand that. For me, it was no question because I was met with let me see. I was met with a situation to where there was no, it was either this or that, and I knew that, and I'm not, and I knew it in the moment, and it was tough, but we're not all in that situation. So all I'm saying is, I'm talking to people who have jobs. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You get up and work, and that's what you were taught, and that's what we knew. We go to work. We work for our family. We work because we ain't lazy. We work because, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, I get it. And then to turn around and have people tell you that, oh, you got a job, you in the public, you blah, 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 blah. And try to shame you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's heresy as far as I'm concerned. So I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people who have, quote, jobs. So you have a job or you have a good job. Can you go private? Yes. I'm just going to say yes off the jump. You can hang up or end the show or whatever you want to do now. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately that's the answer. Yes. And what do I mean by yes? Okay, so you'll probably likely never be, quote, all the way private. You know what I'm saying? Because you're working at a job, especially federal employees. But check this out. You got a good job, you got a good pension or whatever, you got good benefits, you got good health care, good dental. I mean, look. What you got to do is you have to protect all your assets. Because if you got a good job, you got a good health care and stuff, you probably accumulating. You better be accumulating something. Gold, silver, property. I don't know. Some people accumulate, man, I got this guy that makes so much money off of Legos, man. Legos. I'm serious. People talk stuff, all this stuff. If you know how much money this dude make off Legos. So whatever your thing is. But ultimately, working a job, working a good job, you're accumulating, you have property, you have cars, you have vehicles, you might have a wave runner or whatever. You got to put that stuff in trust, man. If you got a house, let's say you got a mortgage on it, there are things you can do. There's things you can do. I'm not going to say it on the air, man, because I don't give legal advice. Disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. So L is not a lawyer, not an attorney, does not give legal advice. This is for information and educational purposes only. Some people would say entertainment purposes. I be thinking about money all the time. But no, you got to start going private in the way that you can, and that is by titling all of your assets in trust. And what I mean by trust is private trust. And what I mean by private trust is contractual entities. And what I mean by contractual entities is those that have contractual constitutional protections, and those they can impair the obligation of a contract. And that's what I mean. Sure, there's things that you can do to separate yourself from the individual or the debtor, the living, breathing, to separate yourself from the debtor. Me personally, there's two things we're concerned about. One is them taking my body, my vessel, and putting it in some cell. Okay? That's one component. The other component is them taking my stuff or taxing my stuff, trying to come through and lawsuit my stuff, or you didn't pay rent, garnish my stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the other part, in my opinion. when it comes to going private. Now, going 100% private, you're private. You don't use a social fam. You know what I'm saying? You administer entities, businesses, whether they're business trusts or actual public corporate entities, you know, and you do your dance. You don't use the social at all. 100% private. You don't have a job. You know, you have contracts in place that allow you certain benefits, whether monetary or not. 100% private. You got your own property. You know, you got your own water source. You got your own power generator. You got your own land, and maybe a small little army. I'm just playing about the army, but real 100% private. You ain't got no utilities connected to your house, no power, nothing. You ain't got none of that connected to your house. That's 100% private. And I would be willing to debate anyone who says enough wrong, fam. Like you could be private and still get electricity. Nigga, what? How's that private? Tell me how that's private. When you have a public utility company attached to your home where you live, where you reside. I don't know what word you want to use, man. And they sending bills. It's in the trust, though. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so the utility company is billing the trust, but the utility pole still has a connection. You know, that utility line, like that power line, is passing from the public to the private as soon as it hits that house. Man, look. So 100% private, in my opinion, is almost unattainable for most of us. So we got varying degrees of privacy. And ultimately, look, I want y'all to know that you looking at me, touch me. You feel my heartbeat? Okay, I am not that. That is not me. You know what I'm saying? Pointing at this birth certificate, this individual. Were you issued a social security number? No, I was not. When was I issued? Me, personally? No. I was never issued. Well, how did you get the card? It wasn't issued to me. My mother gave it to me. And I know that's not an issuance because my mother is not a government employee. You didn't stand me down. I had no contractual, knowledge, no terms being divulged. Man, look, that is not me. And on top of that, here is this, and this as a formal rebuttal. Notarized by your notary, which brings it into the public. It makes it official. And you can respond to this address and the Board of Trustees. Bottom line. And is this your stuff? Is this your car? No. How you doing, hey? I'm doing all right. You know why I pulled you over? Nope. Is this your car? They trying to establish them in them contacts. Oh, okay. Yeah, is this your car? No, it is not my car. It belongs to a trust, and I am the trustee. That's private. That's a varying degree of privacy. It's not my car. It belongs to a trust. It's gonna put them off. I'm telling you, it's gonna put them off because most people that they know, if they know anyone that deals in trust, are people who have money. And you don't look like you have money, but we don't know, so we're gonna let you go. I don't know. And that's no guarantee. And that's just one situation. So, you have a good job. Can you go private? Technically, I would say yes. But the first and foremost thing that you're going to do is you're going to place all of your assets into a trust. Into a trust. And I'm not talking about a statutory trust or any type of trust that owes its existence to legislation and is therefore governed by legislation. I am not in any way, shape, or form discussing that. I'm talking about a private contractual entity, powerful due to the nature of the entity itself. The contract itself makes the law. So when you create a contract, you create the law. It's crazy. Think about it. Crazy. Okay, so look, I administer a brokerage account. I won't say where. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, whatever. But I administer a brokerage account. And there's no going to statutes. Every time I bring in a minute, they click their heels and get to moving. It's all about the trust minutes. 100%. Now, you're an employee. Let's get to it. Since you didn't hang up, let's get to it. If you're an employee, all right, here's what you can do. You can gift up to, let me say this very slow, you can gift up to $15,000 to any person, and that person does not have to pay taxes on it. That means the employee does. The employee, if I'm an employee, I can gift my family trust up to $15,000 a year. And my family trust doesn't have to pay taxes on that gift. The ceiling is $15,000. Me as an individual, still got to pay taxes. Report taxes, whatever. That's one thing I can do. If I have a family foundation, which is in contract form, which is ultimately the icing on the cake of your private estate, and I didn't mean to rhyme that. I really didn't. Is the private family foundation. And an individual, so say an employee, you got a job, you got a good job. Individuals can donate up to 30% of an individual's gross annual income to a private charity and receive a charitable deduction. Now, do you own that money? I don't own it. I just donated 30% of my gross annual income. How much did you make this year? $100,000? How much did you donate? $30,000? How much did you make this year? $20,000? How much did you donate? $6,000? I received a charitable deduction on my taxes. Take the deduction. Charitable. So you make $20,000, donate 30%. That's $6,000. Now, the taxing authorities is only looking at $14,000, and you still have control of the $6,000 because it's in your private family estate, in one of the entities that's a part of your family estate, which is a private family foundation. Now, I'm not going to get into more that you can go into that because we can get crazy. Hey, let's go crazy. And I don't mean crazy like illegal either. Completely legal, completely lawful. Love it. 100% loving it. Ooh. But this is another way. You want to place your assets. You got cars. You got property. You have interest in property. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a mortgage, right? You have a house. It's worth $200,000, and you're paying payments on the mortgage. And the mortgage is how much you got left? You got like $140,000. That means you got $60,000, which is known as equity. That equity can be placed into a trust, which means you get sued. All you gotta do is break out these contracts, which will substantiate that, hey, I don't own that. I'm dealing with client going through a divorce. The divorce court, the judge, is forcing them to sell their home. Forcing them. And they got with me super late, and look, I really wish people would hit me up when I can help them, because I hate being in a position where I can't help you. It hurts, man. It really does. The judge is forcing them to sell the home. And the ex-wife she's keeping the children, but several young children. But now she has to find a place to live with her children. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just had a house that she owned. Of course, she's married and stuff, got through a divorce, but the judge is making them sell their house. It's terrible. Things that can be avoided if you're properly structured. All you gotta do is have a trust. You get with someone and just tell them, hey, you got a trust? Hey, I got a trust. Hey, I got a trust. Over a period of time, just mention to them several times. So if they're ever questioned, did he ever mention the trust? Did she ever mention the trust? And they say, yeah, that's all that you need. You put them on notice. Any type of divorce or anything like that, look, nothing. You get nada, zero, zilch, nothing. This is from the days of old. Our ancestors would give sheep, cattle, things of value, gold, silver, whatever, when one of the children got married. That was their trust. You get nothing else. Now, y'all break up, y'all get divorced, my child can come back here. And it's still a part of this, our family, this family trust. But the divorcee, the other one, hey. So, put your property in trust. Put your assets in trust. You can put your power bill in the trust name. You can put your gas and light bill in the trust name. You can put insurance in the trust name. Car insurance, vehicle insurance, house insurance, home insurance. All of it. The only thing you can't get in the trust name is life insurance, because that's only an individual. And I'm telling you, when it comes to life insurance and what you can do with life insurance as far as private family banking, that's the only thing. That's one of the only things I'd be like, hey, you need to use that social. Oh, excuse me. But you got to put your stuff in trust, yo. It is what it is. I don't, if you got a job, so what? So what? The job, you retire or whatever, you get a little pension, or you don't retire, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. All of the belongings, all of the property, all of the assets being in trust is going to be protected from probate, tax, estate tax, generation skipping tax, all these things, court fees, any type of creditors, litigation. You're protected. Your stuff is protected. Ultimately, your stuff. I mean, what is an estate? What is an estate? What does that mean? What is your estate? Your estate is basically your stuff, man. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it simple. So you want to transfer all of your property, all of your belongings out of the public estate, being in the name of that individual entity, with the state seal on top of the birth certificate, with the seal of the Social Security Administration on that identifying number. You want to transfer your assets, yours, the living, breathing, and don't confuse or confound them with this non-living, breathing, all capital individual name, by transferring them outside of the public estate and into your private estate. And to me, it's very simple, but also I'm versed in this stuff. I take it for granted on a day-to-day basis. I had one of the trustees was telling me they'd be playing the show that I do every Wednesday to some of their people, and they don't even understand what I be saying, and that's confounding. That's wow. Because I feel like I speak in very layman's terms. And of course, you can determine or judge a person's intelligence on the conversation, articulation, and so on and so forth. But, man. So I'm doing my best to, slow it down, when it comes to the angle in which I come when I'm attempting to teach and educate. But You have no idea what you're missing. I'm telling you. I got a guy. He'll show you how to use insurance, life insurance, to pay off all your debts, everything. And you don't have to make an extra dollar. You just have to use the system correctly with the life insurance policy, with the estate, with the trust. And you got to do it correctly. You have no idea what you don't know. You don't. You have no idea. You don't. But it takes a certain foundation in order to reach up and grab this fruit. And obviously that foundation is particular, a type of knowledge, action, and substantiation. But with consistency and dedication, your quality of life will change in 2 years? If you stick with it. Give me 24 months. I swear, I should start doing a money-back guarantee. I'm going to have to talk to some attorneys about that. But really, there are things that exist that you have. Why? Because there's no incentive. There's no gain for the public to teach you this stuff, because then you are able to do things that the public makes money off of you for doing for you. It's called services. And if you understand the service industry, you understand it's the things that you pay for that you either don't want to do or don't know how to do. You don't know how to roof your house? You got to call the roofing company. If you go to a restaurant, you're not trying to cook. And learn that specific that dish. So you want it to be cooked for. We will pay for these services, accounting services, tax services. There are so many different services offered. Computing services. It's crazy. Cell phone service. So without specific knowledge, you are dependent on those who have knowledge. You feel me? So, at the very least, I'm not going to leave my family in the hands of the public. And that's what we do. And that's where we're at right now. Our families are in the hands of the public. Unless you have a proper setup estate with the assets properly titled to private contractual entities, whether asset trust or family trust, whatever. You have the proper life insurance policies, and you have property, like I said, properly titled and substantiated, and your successors are properly educated and trained with regards to how to administer contract entities. There's no need. They don't need the public for nothing. They don't need the lawyers for anything. They don't need the public for anything. Versus, have clients, family member passes, they got to go to the probate court, they got to fill out this affidavit, they got to do all these things in order for the judge, who's not part of their family, to give them permission, who's not part of their family, to get their inheritance from their family. It's absolutely ridiculous. And when you say things out loud, it makes it even more ridiculous. So, in the spirit of ridiculousness, I'm going to say that again. I have clients who, someone dies and their family passes away, they have to speak to a judge and whoever, these clerks, and they have to do affidavits and do all these things and show up at certain times on certain days and take time off of work and all this stuff. Just to have a judge who's not related to them give them permission, who's not related to them, for them to get their inheritance from their relatives. Mother, father, uncle, grandfather, auntie, sister, whatever. Think about that, man. So at the very least, if you got a job, at the very least, protect your assets. Put them in trust. Protect your portion of the property, even if you have a mortgage on it. You can still do that. It'll stand up. You just got to teach the heirs what to do. When they introduce that shit into the evidence, everything shuts down. Excuse my language. They get the And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, being private is what you say it is. You sit down or stand there or, I don't know, lay down or float, whatever you do. And you determine what being private is. And at what point are you going to be good with where you are at and where you placed your assets and placed your family and whatnot. Don't go off of anyone else's opinion, because they don't have to do it. They don't have to substantiate you. They don't have to do what you got to do. Don't listen to me either. Like, I do a whole different dance. I mean, we have a lot of things in common, but no two situations are alike. 100%. And sometimes I get frustrated because people want to say, well, I want to know what you're doing. Well, A, I'm very private, and B, it's not going to apply to you because you're not doing what I'm doing. But in all ways, in all things, there's a way. And, you can go private. As private as you can go with having a public job, with having a job in the public. You can definitely, I feel like as long as you don't get arrested and lose the job, there's people, you can do the passport, no social, you can put them on notice. Once you're employed in a contract, it's excuse me, it's an issue to fire you without cause. That's a contract breach ultimately. And workman's comp, wrongful termination, all this stuff. Wrongful termination is a breach of contract. So I know people who once they got hired, they went in there and did a W-9-8s or W-4, whatever. Gave them affidavits, private IDs and all this other stuff, and aren't getting taxes out of their checks. Still working there, they still show up every day. They still, have a job. They obey, the policy, and they still perform. So, they ain't gonna fire you. I know it's, it might be spooky, Don't nobody want to be fired and, thinking of, having to pay rent or pay a mortgage and all the bills in like 3 weeks, and you don't have a job is very stressful. It's very stressful. But how far you want to go if you got a job? You can just go private with your property. You can go private with your labor. It's up to you. Completely up to you. I just recommend that you get educated in whatever way that you can. If you're interested in trustee training here at the foundation, just email us, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. No pressure. You know what I'm saying? Offer and acceptance. That's all. But, we're not the only spot. But I know for a fact, high frequency, we ain't gonna nickel and dime you. We ain't out here playing with you or playing with your life. We ain't got time for that. Really don't want your money. Just, we know this stuff requires energy, and we know a workman is worthy of a hire. So I ain't finna go against natural law for no one, for real. And just really want to give you value ultimately. Like, ain't nobody gonna talk mess about me behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, he did this and he da da da. Like, I've seen that, and that's, I do good works, man. Any place I go, I try to leave it in better condition than when I got there. I don't just clean up after myself. Like, nah, let's take it a little step further. Why? So you can walk in and be like, man, Sot was here. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care what it is. Like, you go your coffee table. I'm over here, symmetrically lining up your coasters in the Jet magazine that you got on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Sot must have been here. Everything is symmetrical across the counter and stuff. So With that being said, there's a lot of different sources. Some better than others. I may be biased in saying high frequency is the illest, but it's just my opinion. But get your information. It's a new year, man. I know y'all got taxes coming. I know y'all. We would be having the best plan for that check, and then when the check comes, cool, man. 2 weeks later, you be like, man, I should have. Man, I was gonna get the man. I've been waiting for that too. Oh, dang. And then come back. What do you got to show for it? I've been in this, man. I've done this so many times. Just spent racks, and ain't really got I got maybe $300 to show for it or something like that. Man, come on, man. I'm stupid. But in the moment, I'm chilling. I'm balling. I'm everything. You can't tell me nothing. Give me some carbonated water. I would like. What is it? What is it called? San Pellegrino. And then we broke, and now I'm back to the cup water, the little water in the cup, you know what I mean? But anyways, let's just start. We need to start making good investments with our times, good investments in our relationships, good investments with our energy, good investments with our currency, our money, our value. We just need to start making better investments, and they start coming back, and then we start this positive circle that reinforces itself, and we get in this positive cycle. And it can be done. I've done it. I did it, man. And I was amazed, because I ain't nobody for real. Come on, man. This is just a little, little poor kid from the South Side, right? So that's my thing is man, if I can do it, man, if I did it, let me jump on high frequency and tell everybody they can do it. I know most people want to do that. Disappointment typically ensues, but you want to be private, go private, baby. However you want to do it, in whatever capacity. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. And especially if you dealing with someone that, they supposed to do what you want to a certain extent. You know what I mean? There's no one size fits all when it comes to being private. And anybody who tells you that there is, I would first contemplate the fact that they possibly don't know enough to parlay their knowledge into a different situation or a different setup or something and feel confident about it. So they only doing this cookie cutter. Watch out for those high-level finessers. They be finessing on a very high level. They woke. They drinking oat milk. And they vegan. And they finessing the crap out of people, man. And that's not taking jabs at people who vegan. I don't eat meat either. I don't do that dairy, But I'm just saying, man. Watch out for them high-level finessers. So, with that being said, we got about 3 minutes left in the broadcast. If we got some callers, I'll check in a second. Maybe I'll take some calls. Otherwise, I'm going to be out. But I just want to let y'all know, man, just because you got a job don't mean you can't go private, man. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. You know what I mean? Tell them Sot told you. And then tell them come holler at me. They ain't gonna come holler at me. Straight up. But yeah, with that being said, there's always something that you can do. Get into that mind state. There's always something I can do. Always. Never helpless. I'm never helpless, and I'm never in a situation where my choices are going to be dictated. The only time that was in multiple choice or in school, and even then I didn't like it. I do not appreciate those situations. So if you're anything like me, there's always something that can be done. There's always little adjustments that can be made, little progress that can be made, so on and so forth. So, yeah. Just because you got a job doesn't mean you can't go private. Don't listen to the haters. They hate you. They don't know who you are, baby. They don't know who you are. Ooh, my head is bumping. Ooh. Y'all better call in. We're going to stream. I'm going to take some callers. 424-222-5250. You can ask questions. You can make a comment. You can cuss me out and tell me I'm lying. That's cool. I ain't gonna get gangster with you. I don't really get gangster with people. I used to be the ultra gangster, but it got old. But 424-222-5250. Let me jump on these phone lines. Used to be knowing these area codes. I don't know what this area code is or where it's from, but it's 929-4056. Peace. Which name are you calling from?
Peace, my brother Sot. Peace, kings and queens, community. This is Sister Yvette. My brother, that was some good nuggets you gave the communities. Let me tell all of y'all something. Yes, you can go private and still have a job. So the key question I have to ask you all is, did you self-examine? How much money you have in your bank accounts if you have a family emergency, a medical emergency, you need to pay something? I guarantee you, 90% of the callers on this line right now, you don't even have $1,000 in your bank account if you in the public. Guarantee you, you have jobs. First thing, because you already are locked in this commercialized slavery, you're supposed to pay yourselves first. You're supposed to put away 20% of your salary without anything else being paid. As long as you owe everybody else, they'll never go broke. That's one. Two, you make sure self-preservation. Okay? The next thing you do is admin at Welcome to the Foundation, consultation. Now, if you could spend, $10, $15, $25, $50, $100 for whatever extra activities that you really don't need to do, you can do a consultation. You could spend the $25 and get the 19 pages. That's the next thing. Another thing, if you have retirement plans on your job, let me teach you something from the public side. You put some money away in that retirement. If you're making $800 every 2 weeks before taxes and they have a 401k, at least put away some of your tax money. Add up all your taxes. Whatever it is, put away 75% of those taxes in that retirement. You stack your paper. Once you stack your paper, you invest in your private education, okay? Because you could borrow from these retirement plans in 3 cases. Education for your children in college, medical emergencies, and to buy your first property. Those are the only 3 things that you can borrow from these retirements and not get penalized. Now, next thing is, instead of you buying the $200 sneakers, you need to go buy 10 pieces of silver and stop playing. Now, for all of those who like to wear all the expensive weave, sisters, because you know who you are. If you wasn't looking good without the weave, you ain't going to look no better with it on. Go ahead and invest in your private education. My brothers, stop buying all the latest, greatest sneakers because you impressing people that ain't going to give you a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. You keeping up with the Joneses for whatever reason, I don't even know, because you still renting from people that don't even respect you. Take your paper, stack it, and get your own. Now, they said the medial range is 30% of the salaries. Unfortunately, that's what the telelies tell to us. That's what the media tells us. The average person has to kick out 60% of their salary to make their rent. Look at the numbers. Check and see if you want to be public until you die or you want to go private. I'm public. I'm transitioning into private. Now, with the life insurance policies that my brother was talking about, that's not to bury us. That's for our investments. That's for our family trust, our generational wealth. Stop playing, people. This is 2020. The ancestors are trying to wake you up. Now, with Boo Boo the Fool in there, y'all better look at your pennies real closely. because it's about to get critical just now. If you haven't noticed, the gold is going up and the silver is going up. And if you do the numbers and you check the research, they're trying to find out who's buying what and how much they're buying. Be careful, kings and queens. Be careful, communities. When you get your tax returns, start your business. That same work you're doing in the public, you could do in the private for yourself. My brother, as always, a pleasure. This same time last year, you was a little under the weather. Don't forget that knack, that green tea, and that chicken broth. I know you vegging, but get the chicken broth, the green tea, and the knack. Okay, my brother? Take care of yourself. Make sure you have plenty of fluids. Peace, my brother. Peace, kings and queens. Peace, communities.
Peace, sister. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. See, you know, that's why we need the sisters, man, because I'll be out here losing everything. That's what my daughter's keeping me in check. When the sister said I was under the weather this time last year, okay, makes me feel better. And she ain't lying about these life insurance policies. Get your taxes, open your business, get your training, invest in your education, get your trust, do your dance, man. It's 2020. It's a whole new decade. You know what I mean? Like 100 years ago, it was the 1920s. It was a roaring 20s. You know, all this stuff is going on. And, you know, and I'm over here. We always still doing the same thing. They talking about this USD coin. Y'all put this USD coin? Because you need to be. You really need to be. And they got this Goldman Sachs CEO, David Solomon, talking about building a digital consumer bank in the U.S. CNBC over here talking about what would negative interest rates mean for consumers and the economy. They're talking about this stuff going on right now. So the sister's right. Gold and silver is going up. It's never going to be this cheap, probably, for the rest of your life. That's why I say, man, email me. Carrot bars, man. It's affordable. You can get your hands on it. I've used it for years. I've taken delivery many times. Like, no hiccups. I wouldn't be telling y'all if it wasn't that move. But, you know, to each their own. Let me do this. Let me do one more caller. I'm going to do one more caller. Let me just, this looks familiar. 205-0377.
Greetings. Peace to the guys.
Peace, family. Peace. What's going on?
Peace, brother. How you doing? What's the business?
Oh, man, you know, doing my dance. Living that life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. I'm just not hitting the clock as we speak. I'm finna get ready to hit the slab and head to the domicile, you dig?
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Yeah.
You had a good day? Everything good?
Yeah, indeed, man. It's a little bit, you know, the temperature a little bit. It's a little lower than what it was, but, you know, we gonna persevere. We gonna make it.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely gonna make it. After all, you know, so we're not out here exerting our energy for nothing, you dig? It ain't all in vain. So we're definitely working to create, protect, preserve, so we can be able to pass it on. So there's much purpose in it, though, definitely, though. So, you know, I'm in the mind state. I'm definitely in the mind state, even though I haven't officially crossed over. So, you know, I know that's still important. It all start with the mindset, though, how you maneuvering, you know, with it. So, yeah, definitely, though, man. You know, if you work a 9 to 5, you can go private. No doubt. Truth be told, you know, you got people right now who actually living it. They're doing it. You know, their void is on certain things. You know what I'm saying? They're taking advantage or taking the opportunity on fringe benefits. Is that right, so? You know, filling out the proper paperwork. You know what I mean? They actually living this life, so it's never too late. I was always told it was never too late to do the right thing. You know, it's always the right time to do what's right. Always. You know. So yeah, that's just definitely what it is. You know, it may seem like you know what I mean, a fantasy when we talk about the private versus public, but it's all real. It's actual and factual. You know, you was born actually a private citizen. You was born that. You just got to maneuver in that sense. You got to know that though. You know. So yeah, it's another brick in the foundation though. You know, it's another one. So I'm definitely going back into the archives, get my pen and pad, and you know what I mean, recapture a little bit here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely don't know what we don't know. So I just want to let everybody know you can go private and still have a job. Come on.
Right.
I mean, come on. And even private families, you know, they understand and set up their estate knowing that some of the beneficiaries, some of the heirs are not going to work for the family business. They're not going to try to, you know, they're not going to be interested in that. And they're going to want to go and do their own thing. And I believe that's why these donation things, charitable donation things are set up the way they are. I believe that's why the gift and the gift tax is set up the way it is. Because even those that are wealthy families, they know that there are going to be some heirs that are just going to go in the public. And they want to give them, you know, loopholes in the public. But the only way you can take advantage of the loophole is if you got private entities, private estate.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. I just don't, you know, there's limitations, you know, and there's limitations that were taught to us or imposed on us, and then there's limitations we pose on ourselves. And I think it's really important for us to really question and dissect what we feel is our limitations.
Fact.
So yeah.
Definitely fact. Definitely fact. Hey man, proper. You know what I mean? Proper, correct information. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's how we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna deal with it. The only way to really live true. If you want to live in the public and maneuver, the only way to do it is to, you know, get straight up in the private. Get up in the private so you can maneuver better within the public.
Right.
Yeah, I want to be out in the public naked, ass naked, out here trying to maneuver like we've been doing, and you know what I'm saying, and not knowing that that's the other way to live. That's another whole sector.
It's crazy. You heard that that saying, "Live free or die." You ever heard that?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, live free or die. Yeah.
Live free or die. You ever? I was thinking about that the other day. We be like, live free, right? Which I think maybe is private, or die, and we be over here administering dead entities. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas, you're civilly dead. It's civiler mortus or something like that.
Right.
Civiliter mortus and capitis de minutia maxima. You can look those up.
Right.
You have your name in all capitals. That's death. That's civil death. I don't know. I could be just tripping. I could be putting two together and getting 19. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But you either live free or you dead. Or you dead.
Damn.
Live free or you dead. You dead.
Or you dead. Ooh, that's cold. Hey, but if you can really interpret that and you know what this means, shit, you start to wake your ass up. I ain't dead. I'm not no dead. I am not a corpse walking around here you can just handle. Hell no. Hell nah. Damn, bro. Yeah, it's time on that note though. It's time to wake up. It's time to, it's time to live alive. Really be alive. And
2020 has clear vision, you know what I'm saying? It just means so many things. So many things are like, right now, here you go. Right now. You've never had as much information at your fingertips as you do right now.
That's true.
And what are we doing about it? And what are we doing with it? And how are we pursuing it? How are we taking advantage, even monetizing information? We live in the information age. We in the information age, man. And if we ain't out here getting information, dead entity.
Dead
entity.
Straight up. Wow. Hey, that's ain't no way else to put it though. I mean, real. That's just really what it is. That's really what it is. You know, you either the creator, or you're probably part of the creation. You know what I mean? That's being governed, that's being utilized. You know what I'm saying, by someone else. So I'd rather be a part of my own thought process. I mean, if I can think it and create it, and then put it into a atmospheric place where we can utilize it and it can help better our condition. Yeah, I'd rather be a part of my own thought process, man, because you know there's a lot of people that came up with a lot of ways out here to pretty much keep people busy. You know, for the most part, we call it work. You know what I'm saying? Servitude, whether it be voluntary or voluntary.
They call it busy work. I think one of my first jobs was fast food, and I was leaning against the counter just chilling. And the manager or supervisor walked up on me and was like, "If you have time to lean, you have time to clean."
To clean.
He told me I had to start cleaning up stuff, just clean up random stuff. I'm like,
man.
Yo, it be like learn lessons. I learned lessons. I ain't like that. Like, look, how about I got time to slide out of here? Peace. Call someone else in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out of here. You know, whatever. But
right.
I call it busy work. Well, they call it, people who know, we call it busy work.
Workaholics.
Mm-hmm. And then y'all get up. We start getting up, right? And y'all ever notice? Hold on. Before I say something controversial, look, there be a lot of like immigration, right? And there be a lot of immigration when you're dealing with refugees. There be countries that be taking in refugees. War-torn countries. There's Somalian refugees, there's Cambodian refugees, there's Vietnamese refugees, there's Korean refugees, there's different African refugees. There's a lot of different, because wars create, refugees. Haitian refugees, a lot of refugees. But, I be studying economies on a macro scale, which means on a large scale, like the overall economy. And I be seeing, so when there's a lack of unskilled workers, that's when they start implementing these refugee, relocation programs.
Right.
Because once after a certain couple of generations, most families and people, they raise up to a higher class, and that, I'm not waiting tables no more. We ain't cleaning toilets. We ain't serving people at restaurants. It gets like that. And then there needs to be another wave of, service workers to be brought in to occupy those positions. And if you start looking at refugee policies and the overall concentration of where refugees have been placed in just the past 50 years, and then when you look at that, you start looking at the economies of those states, of those cities and stuff. It paints a really crazy picture, man. And I can't be the only one that sees this stuff. Maybe I'm just the only one that talks about it, though. But I said all that just because I said the phrase busy work. And there's, a lot of this stuff, a lot of things, just like the Uber and Lyft drivers. They don't know that these Uber and Lyft drivers are giving these companies the data required to plug into autonomous vehicles and GPS. Uber and Lyft drivers do not realize that. They're getting the maps from them. They're getting traffic information from them. They're getting GPS information from them. They're getting rush hour times and travel times and all that, man. The Lyft and Uber drivers are helping to build out the infrastructure of autonomous vehicles, and they don't even know it. It's like a company was like, hey, man, we need to map these routes, and we need to map them realistically as fast as possible so we can implement this autonomous driving and this autonomous company. And one of those guys was like, well, how about we create a self-driving app, and the drivers, we get the information from their phones.
Wow. Huh.
And they were like, okay, well, there's reasons why this stuff happens. Most of us don't see it on the surface. And that's what I'm saying. It's so important to invest in your education. And not just money-wise, time-wise. Understanding what sources to get your hands on so you get the best information. Because it changes the way you look at the world. And once you understand the game and you understand what's going on, you can start manipulating the game in your favor. And in such a way to where you don't really cause any waves or cause any attention to yourself or your family. You know what not to do. Oh, that's why so-and-so got popped off because they did this. That's too out there, too public, too federal is what I like to say. You're federal. If I tell someone you're federal, that means but it's just weird, when you look at things from a different perspective. If it doesn't make sense from one perspective, change the perspective. And I know a lot of us be living this life and we're like, man, why is this happening to me? Why do I work so hard and blah, blah, blah? Man, we need to change our perspective. And things will be brought to light. Like, and a lot of it is going to, maybe be a blow to the ego or something. But, man, damn that ego. I'm trying to get this bread. I'm trying to get this lifestyle that I can provide for my family and for myself to where I'm not, it's a distant memory of being poor. It's a distant memory of the mayonnaise and crackers days. You know what I mean? Like all these things are distant memories. And, if I can't say it enough, get the knowledge. Get it. Especially now because they're locked. When I say the public is locking down, they're locking the knowledge down too. Straight up. They locking the knowledge down. And there's so much misinformation out here with this private stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, it's a cold world. Instead of complaining about it, I just turn around, go back in the crib and throw on a hoodie. I think, it's all a part of changing the perspective. Change your perspective.
Yes, sir. Part of the elements. Part of the elements that come with private versus public.
Exactly. The power is in contracting. And the beneficial party of most contracts is not us. And until we get into the private is usually when we get on the positive side or the supreme ultimate beneficial side of a contract. Ultimately. There's very few benefits in the public with regards to contracting. From a public position. Now, from a private position, you can kill the game in the public.
Right.
So it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm out of here, man. I'll be doing well, man. It's good to hear.
Yeah, no doubt. Likewise, brother. I'm headed. I'm like 5 minutes away from the crib now, bro. I'm gonna get ready to get in and get me some hot tea. Fix me some soup. Probably gonna do what Sot Yvette recommend, man. I'm gonna get me some hot liquors in me. Yeah. Yes,
we'll be out of here.
I promise. Yes, sir. I'm about to go do it. Give me a little alkaline water as well. Might mess around and meditate as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Enjoy
Definitely
yourself,
time,
man.
bro.
Thanks for calling in, man. Wonderful pleasure talking to you again, man. Stay grinding, stay
Yes, sir,
hustling.
indeed.
I look forward to talking to you soon, man.
Indeed. Will do. Definitely, I will catch you on the other side, though. I will do.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to give thanks once again. It's another brick in the foundation, though. Seriously, though. Give thanks to the Creator, the ancestors, the forefathers, the foremothers, the forerunners, and all those amongst us today. You did. Thank everybody for tuning in. Check the archives out if you missed it. You know what I mean? Jewels being dropped. Let's do it. Take control in the private, you know what I mean? And conduct your affairs properly in the public. Give thanks once again. I'm out, so peace to the guys and goddesses. It's another one.
Peace to the guys and goddesses. Ashe. My family, Mellow Bay. I want to say peace, Mellow. I want to say peace to Sister Pat. Always good energy. Always good energy. I also want to say peace to you for checking out the show. Right now, you can get a gram of gold for $60 and a penny. You know, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I mean, look, listen, there's a reason why I keep talking about precious metals. There is a reason. There is a wealth transfer that is happening as we speak if you want to get on the good side of it. And it's not just precious metals, but the other stuff we missed, all right? We missed it. But this is wealth transfer. I'm telling you, man, we got analysts talking about gold's going to be around 2,000 by the end of 2020. And I do not doubt that. I would even think it would be further. But this is the lowest you're going to see it probably for the rest of your life, gold and silver. There's new technology coming in with the electric cars. Look, silver and gold, I'm telling you. So in any way you can get your hands on it, do it. Holler at me if you want to get small denominations of gold. Email me admin at welcome to the foundation if you would like to set up a consultation, or you can go to welcometothefoundation.com. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I mean, I'm telling y'all. I don't even know y'all, and I love y'all. And hopefully you can feel that in these broadcasts. And I've been on high frequency for years, man. It's crazy that I'm saying that. I'm in high frequency for years, man. And I'm just doing my best to show what true consistency and dedication is, so that I can be a positive example, because we all can make this happen. We just have to believe that we can make it happen. We need to begin to make it happen, and then we will become whatever we're looking to do. With consistency and dedication, you got to keep going over and over again, and you got to have the right motivation. It can't be for someone else, or your sister, or your man, or whatever, because they want it. Nah, it's got to be for you, because if it's for someone else, you're going to fall off. Eventually, you're going to fall off. But I believe in you. I know you can do it, and it's up to you. Like, you are the one that's been tapped in your family in this day and age to start rebuilding your family estate. It's on you. You can procrastinate. You can make all these excuses. But you and I both know that is a cop-out half the time. And either you're afraid to fail, or you're afraid to succeed because you don't know how to behave. You don't know how to be successful. You don't know okay, I'm successful. Now what do I do? How do I keep it? I understand that fear. I felt both of those before, but got past them too. And it's important. It's very important. This is not a game. We don't get these days back. Life is not a joke. And who knows who knows, man? Nothing's promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And I know you want your life to be significant. I want to help you make your life and allow your life to be significant. So just reach out. Closed mouth don't get fed. In the meantime, next week, same time, same spot, High Frequency Radio Network, Foundation, SOL, gonna be here, blah. And in the meantime, y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how you love someone else? How you gonna say I love you? How you treat me like this? Do you love yourself? Because if you don't, what you know? You ain't throw it in the air if you don't have it in your hands. And a lot of us, We focus outside of ourselves, my children, my job, my house, I got to clean this. Look, you got to start taking time for yourself. You're worth it. You're important. And you mean something to me. So take care of yourself. Love yourself. Go easy on yourself so you can go easy on others. Before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to say 10 things that you're thankful for. And repeat it. And then do the same thing when you wake up in the morning. And do your dance. Because no one else can do your dance like you. And no one else can do your dance the way you do it. And it's gorgeous. I want to see it. With that being said, I love y'all. Y'all enjoy yourself. Have a great week. Peace to the God.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.